Here's what you need to know. Want to get this briefing by email? Here's the sign up. Good morning. We start today with the safety fears raised after the crash of a Boeing jet, the details of President Trump's proposed budget, and a pivotal Brexit vote today in Britain. At least 23 airlines have taken the Boeing 737 MAX 8 out of service after the second crash involving the model in 5 months. The company stood by the plane's safety but said that it planned software updates and was working on changes to flight controls and training guidelines. Here are the latest updates. The voice and data recorders have been recovered from the plane that crashed in Ethiopia on Sunday, but it could still take time to determine the cause of the crash that killed 157 people. Q&A, Southwest and American, the only U.S. airlines that use the 737 MAX 8, said they would continue to fly the plane. Here's what travelers should know. The details: the 737 MAX is Boeing's best-selling jet ever, with about 350 registered and thousands on order. The planes typically make more than 8,500 flights a week. These are the airlines that fly them. The president on Monday sent Congress a $4.75 trillion budget that includes a nearly 5% increase in military spending and an additional $8.6 billion for construction of a wall along the border with Mexico. The plan, the largest budget in federal history, also makes sharp cuts to domestic programs, including some that Mr. Trump has previously supported. The budget has little chance of passing in its current form, but it does offer a preview of the president's re-election campaign priorities. Another angle: the waning stimulus from Mr. Trump's 2017 tax cut and economic damage from his global trade war are undermining his oft-stated objective of increasing growth and reducing trade and budget deficits. Prime Minister Theresa May's prospects of winning a critical vote today on Britain's withdrawal from the European Union were dealt a severe blow when the Attorney General, Geoffrey Cox, said that last-minute changes in her plan didn't fundamentally alter the legal status of the agreement. Mr. Cox's opinion is likely to be crucial in swaying the votes of pro-Brexit lawmakers. What's next? We'll have live coverage of the vote, which is expected around 3 p.m. Eastern. If her plan is defeated, Mrs. May has promised lawmakers a vote on whether Britain should leave without a deal, something that could upend the country's economy. If they reject that, they would then vote on whether Britain should request an extension of its negotiations with Brussels. Britain is scheduled to depart the bloc on March 29. Yesterday, a protest by customs officers in France delayed Eurostar trains and backed up trucks for miles, providing a taste of a post-Brexit world. The Central American country, population 5 million, wants to wean itself from fossil fuels by 2050, an aspiration that scientists say other countries would need to share in some form if the world is to avert the direst consequences of global warming. How to pay for Costa Rica's ambitions remains a question mark. But if its decarbonization strategy succeeds, it could provide a roadmap for others, especially developing countries. If it doesn't work in a small, politically stable country, it would have equally profound consequences. Quotable: "If we can't pull it off by 2050, it's likely no other country can pull it off," said one economist and climate advisor to Costa Rica's government. That would be really bad. For decades, American museums have received gifts from donors inspired by philanthropic zeal, lucrative tax deductions and/or the prestige of seeing their works in esteemed settings. But there's often no way to display more than a small fraction of the holdings, and the cost of climate-controlled storage is prohibitive. One of our arts reporters gauged the scope of the problem. The Indianapolis Museum of Art is ranking its works to decide what to sell or donate, and you can test yourself against the museum's experts. Out of Venezuela, the U.S. is withdrawing its remaining diplomatic personnel from the embassy in Caracas because of worsening conditions in the country, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said today. Founder quits troubled charity. Juan Sanchez, the founder of Southwest Key Programs, resigned on Monday after family separations at the Mexican border brought intense scrutiny to the organization, the largest provider of shelters for migrant children. Southwest Key's chief financial officer left last month after a Times article outlined allegations of mismanagement and possible malfeasance. New Trump-related inquiry: the New York Attorney General's office has issued subpoenas to 2 banks for records related to 4 Trump Organization projects and a failed effort to buy the Buffalo Bills football team. 3,200 pounds of cocaine. An inspection of a container that arrived in Newark has uncovered one of the largest shipments of the drug ever seized in the New York City area. Snapshot, above, in Iwaki, Japan, on Monday, the 8th anniversary of the earthquake and tsunami that killed around 16,000 people. The disasters also caused a meltdown at the Fukushima nuclear plant.